Why this perfect supply zone failed, the hidden inducement trap. On this chart, everything looked perfect. Break of structure, lower time frame change of character, inducement, and a clean supply zone. So naturally, I took the sell trade. But instead of hitting sell-side liquidity, my stop loss got hit. At first, it looked like a bad trade, but it wasn't. It was actually a smart money honey trap. So watch carefully, because later in this video, I'll show you the real supply zone institutions used and the small detail that exposes this entire inducement trap. Let's start with the first confirmation on this chart, the break of structure. Price was previously moving in a bullish direction, creating higher highs and higher lows. But at this point, the market suddenly breaks below the previous low. This break tells us something important. The buyers who were controlling the market are starting to lose their strength, and sellers are beginning to step in. For many traders, this is the first signal that the market might be shifting from bullish to bearish. And when traders see a clear break of structure like this, they immediately start looking for selling opportunities. So naturally, the next step is to find a strong supply zone where the market might react. And on this chart, it looked like we had the perfect one. After the break of structure, the next thing I wanted to see was a shift in momentum on the lower time frame. So I moved down to a smaller time frame to study how price was reacting inside this area. And this is where something interesting happens. Price forms a change of character on the lower time frame. Instead of continuing the bullish movement, the market starts creating lower highs and pushing down with stronger bearish candles. This tells us that sellers are not just reacting to the break of structure. They are starting to control the market momentum on the lower time frame as well. For many traders, when they see both confirmations, a break of structure on the higher time frame and a change of character on the lower time frame, it strengthens the bearish bias. At this point, everything is starting to align for a potential sell setup. And that's exactly why the supply zone I marked next looked like the perfect place to enter the trade. Now, after seeing both confirmations, the break of structure and the change of character on the lower time frame, the next step is to identify where sellers might actually enter the market. And this is where this area becomes very interesting. Right here, price leaves the zone with strong bearish momentum, creating an impulsive move to the downside. For many traders, a move like this usually indicates that institutional selling activity may have taken place in this area. So naturally, this zone starts to look like a very strong supply zone. It sits above the market, it caused a sharp bearish reaction, and it aligns with the overall bearish bias created by the break of structure and the change of character. From a technical perspective, everything about this zone looks clean and logical. And this is exactly the type of supply zone many traders wait for before entering a sell trade. At this point, the analysis seems straightforward. Identify inducement, wait for price to return to this supply zone, and then execute the trade targeting sell-side liquidity. And honestly, looking at this setup, it's very easy to believe that this is the correct supply zone. But what makes this chart interesting is that this area wasn't the real supply zone at all. Now, before price returns to this supply zone, there is another important detail forming on the chart, inducement. Right here, price creates a small pullback and forms a short-term level where liquidity starts building. This area attracts traders because it looks like a logical point where the market might react before continuing lower. Many traders see this type of movement and believe the market is simply creating inducement before moving toward the supply zone. In other words, it looks like the market is collecting liquidity from traders who are trying to trade the smaller moves. So at this stage, the idea becomes very simple. Price takes this inducement, returns to the supply zone, and then the market drops towards sell-side liquidity. Everything seems to be lining up perfectly. But here's the interesting part. This inducement was not what it looked like. And if you watch carefully until the end of this chart replay, you'll understand exactly why my stop loss was hit and how this entire setup was actually part of a much bigger inducement trap. Now, the final piece of the puzzle is sell-side liquidity. If you look at the chart carefully, you can see multiple equal lows forming here. Areas like this usually attract liquidity because many traders place their stop losses below these lows, while others place sell stop orders expecting a breakout. For the market, these levels become pools of liquidity, and when we combine this with the break of structure, the change of character on the lower time frame, and the supply zone above the market, the expectation becomes very clear. The idea is simple. Price returns to the supply zone, sellers enter the market, and then the move continues downward to take the sell-side liquidity resting below these lows. So at this point, the entire setup looks complete. We have structure, momentum shift, inducement, a supply zone, and a clear liquidity target. Everything about this analysis suggests a high probability sell trade. But what makes this chart interesting is what happens next. Because instead of moving toward this liquidity, the market does something completely unexpected. So with all these confirmations in place, the break of structure, the change of character on the lower time frame, the inducement, and this supply zone, the sell setup looks very clear. The idea is simple. Wait for price to return to this supply zone, and then execute the sell trade targeting the sell-side liquidity resting below these lows. As price moves back into the zone, this is where I enter the trade. The stop loss is placed just above the supply zone to protect the position, and the target remains the liquidity below the market. At this moment, everything looks perfectly aligned. The structure supports the trade, the supply zone looks clean, and the liquidity target gives a logical direction for price. But then something unexpected happens. Instead of dropping toward the sell-side liquidity, price pushes higher and takes out the stop loss. And this is where the real lesson begins, because the problem was not the trade itself. The problem was that this supply zone was never the real supply zone in the first place. Now this is where the chart becomes really interesting. Earlier, I marked this level as inducement, assuming it was the liquidity the market would take before reacting from the supply zone. But after the stop loss was hit, something important became clear. This level was not the main inducement at all. It was actually minor inducement, a smaller liquidity point that attracts traders' attention, but doesn't represent the real target for the market. And this is exactly where many traders get misled. Because when you mistake minor inducement for the main inducement, the entire analysis can shift in the wrong direction. Which means the supply zone I trusted may have been hiding something much bigger on the chart. This is where the real trap on this chart becomes visible. The supply zone that looked so perfect earlier was never meant to be the real supply zone. In fact, this entire area was acting as major inducement. In other words, the market was using this level as a honey trap to attract traders into selling too early. Think about it. The break of structure was there, the change of character was there, the inducement seemed clear, and the supply zone looked very logical. Everything was designed to make traders believe this was the right place to sell. But instead of dropping, the market moved higher, took out the stop losses, and collected that liquidity. Because the real institutional supply zone was actually sitting above this entire area. Now, once the trap becomes clear, the chart starts to make much more sense. Instead of focusing on the earlier supply zone, attention shifts slightly higher on the chart, and this is where the real supply zone becomes visible. This area shows the true origin of the strong bearish move, the point where institutions actually stepped into the market. So when price moves into this zone, the idea behind the trade changes completely. Instead of selling too early, the plan now is to wait for price to reach this real supply zone and execute the sell position from there. And this time, the reaction is very different. Price begins to move down with momentum, heading directly toward the sell-side liquidity that was resting below the market. So the real lesson from this chart is very simple. Not every supply zone is real. Sometimes the level that looks perfect is actually just inducement, designed to attract traders into the wrong position. And if you don't understand the difference between minor inducement and major inducement, it becomes very easy to fall into these honey traps. That's exactly why this trade failed first, and why the real move only happened from the true institutional supply zone. If you want to avoid mistakes like this, make sure you watch my previous video where I explained why traders often trade the wrong demand zone. And for more breakdowns like this, follow Discount Trader, because sometimes the biggest lessons in trading come from the traps hidden inside the chart.